Hey, big news! We're producing a new podcast series with daily horoscopes, and yours truly is hosting it. Check it out by searching for your zodiac sign and the word daily. For example, mine would be Aries Daily. Your future will thank you. This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1706. The first 100,000 is the hardest, by J Money of budgetsaresexy.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. The first 100,000 is the hardest, by J Money of budgetsaresexy.com. You know what's hard? Making your first $1 million. For us normal people, I say making your first $100,000 is the ultimate achievement. You can't make it to $1 million or $1 billion without first hitting 100,000. But even more than that, it requires a complete overhaul of both your money and your mindset. You literally go from knowing jack to building out an entire plan and foundation. And that's if you even get to the point where you care enough to make it happen. It took me 28 years to finally start paying attention. And from the emails I routinely get, the epiphany, unfortunately, comes many decades later for others too. And even then, once you're committed to making the change, the real work begins. You have to first figure out where all your money is going and why. You have to cut back from your accustomed lifestyle and start saving everything from scratch. You have to climb yourself out of all that debt just to get to even. You have to get your career off the ground or fixed, on top of hustling dozens of side jobs or whatever else will be powering your plan. You have to figure out how to invest and balance your life so you actually still enjoy it. And most importantly, you have to become really good at being patient because it all takes time. In fact, that's the magic ingredient of it all, time. And it can be a bitch. But once you get your mind right and the engine running, it starts getting easier from there until you're crossing such once fantasized milestones before you know it. You hit your break-even point at $0, then cross to $1,000 in savings, then $10,000 and $20,000, up to $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, $500,000, and all the way up to the double comma club and beyond. Life is good. And it becomes so easy over time that you rarely need to think about it anymore. You still do because, well, we're all nerds, but it becomes more out of fun than it does necessity. And I wouldn't even care anymore that you stop listening to this blog because it means you're all set now. Unless you're Drake or T-Boone who can't stop, won't stop until they're eventually gazillionaires. My friend over at ESI Money, and ESI stands for Earn, Save, and Invest, recently shared his own milestones and how long they took to cross, and the numbers are pretty mind-blowing. $1 million net worth, 19 years and 3 months. $2 million net worth, 4 years and 9 months. $3 million net worth, 2 years and 8 months. $4 million net worth, not there yet and likely won't get there since he just retired. We'll never know how long it'll take him to reach $1 billion now. Thanks a lot, bud. But as you can see, the first push is incredibly harder than the rest. 19 years down to just over 2 to accrue the same exact amount of money. It's pretty ridiculous. And I'm sure if you were to track your own progress, you'd see something similar. I joked with ESI that I was going to steal his idea and tweak it to the 100,000s, since I'm not as baller as he is yet. So here it is as promised. P.S. I assumed that ESI started the clock around the same time he got his first real job because he mentioned salary. So that's what I did here too. Only I went back to my first hourly job after college, Old Navy, summer of 2001, since it took me a number of years to actually get my first salaried one. $100,000 net worth, 7 years and 11 months. $200,000 net worth, 1 year, 5 months. $300,000 net worth, 1 year, 2 months. $400,000 net worth, 1 year, 8 months. $500,000 net worth, 2 years, 7 months. $600,000 net worth probably over the next 2 years. As you can see, it took me way longer to hit my first $100,000 than all the others. And while I started regressing with the last few 100,000, the point kids entered my life and slowed down the hustle, it hasn't required any real additional effort or strategizing on my behalf. I just feed the machine and it does the rest. The majority of everything you need to do happens between reaching your first epiphany and hitting that first 100,000. You'll still learn and tweak as you go, and maybe even switch strategies in the process. But once you've got your mind right, it's all a matter of pouring in the fuel and letting time, and sometimes luck, take over from there. Is reaching your first million or even billion hard? Of course. But if you ask me, getting to your first 100,000 is by far the most important. If you're there, congratulations. You figured out how to beat 75% of your countrymen. Total guess there, but probably accurate. If you haven't, don't stress. You're well on your way. As I don't know many people who would spend their free time devouring finance blogs and then doing nothing about it. It all takes time, but once you hit that first 100,000, it's much smoother sailing. You just listened to the post titled, "The First 100,000 is the Hardest" by J Money of budgetsaresexy.com. If you're a small business owner, this is for you. Running a business is just plain hard. Endless to-do lists, employees to take care of, and your ever-present bottom line. So first of all, kudos to you for staying on top of it. And I want to tell you about Gusto. Gusto built an easier and more affordable way to manage payroll, benefits, and more. They help over 100,000 businesses with tasks like automated payroll tax filing, simple direct deposits, free health insurance administration, 401ks, onboarding tools, you name it, Gusto made it easy. And they really care about the small business owners they work with. Their support team is attentive and helpful. Our podcast team here has been using Gusto for years. We have no plans to change. I remember being onboarded last year through Gusto, and it was a breeze. And since money can be tight right now, you'll even get 3 months free once you run your first payroll. Just go to gusto.com/OFD and start setting up your business today. You'll see what I mean when I say easy. Again, that's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/OFD. I think J Money makes some great points here. The first 100,000 is the hardest, because it takes time to get your good money habits in place. While I do think focusing on your net worth is a better way to track your progress than focusing on something like your credit score, for example, I found for myself that focusing on the gap between my income and expenses has helped me get the best results. Saving and investing as much as I can while monitoring my spending and expenses naturally resulted in increasing my net worth. I focused on the systems and behaviors and let the results take care of themselves. And after 6 years, this led me to a net worth of almost $500,000. I'm not quite sure when I passed that $100,000 threshold. It was probably worth celebrating, but I was too busy celebrating every month that I stayed within my budget and hit my targeted savings rate. Compound interest is a magical thing, and the more you invest, the more compound interest is working to grow your net worth. That should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you on the Thursday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.